This episode, this is a gift. A gift for who? A gift for you. And who do you give this gift to? Wow, you give it to anyone at all that says to you that you should have empathy for a sex offender.
Small child, because of something that happened, because the way the relationship between me and Nicholas started. It was once it started, I let it continue. It was not by my choice that it got started in the first place. But I did stay in the relationship when I knew I shouldn't have.
What do you mean it wasn't by your choice? This child was 7 years old.
At that time, he made the first move when I was sick and I couldn't push him away, and he performed a head job on me, is best way I can put it. And even though I tried to push him away because I was so sick at that time, I was so weak. And after that, I knew things went haywire.
All right. I'll just be honest with you. I have concern about concerning because it seems to me that you've blamed the victim for you. Good luck, sir.
All right, Ms. Bonnie Jackson.
Mr. Ducey, my vote today is to deny. You have absolutely no insight. I don't even think you are capable right now of recognizing that you're a pedophile and that a 7-year-old child is not the instigator of his own abuse. I think you need a whole lot more work. And so my vote today is to deny. Good luck to you, Mr. Ducey.
All right, you have 2 votes to deny. I'm also going to vote to deny for the same reasons. 3 votes to deny. Today, your parole's been denied. Good luck.
So you were originally charged with aggravated rape, correct?
Yes, sir. Then they changed it.
Right. They changed it because of a plea bargain. Is that correct? And they offered you 30 years?
I guess that's why they changed it. I'm not sure why they changed it. All I know is when I received my rap sheet, they had forcible rape on there.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about, first off, what was your relationship to these 2 victims?
Paige is my step-granddaughter, and I guess the other little girl, Taylor, she was a good friend of Paige's. They went to school together, and that's what the relationship was.
And how often would they come to visit?
Well, Paige was pushed off on me every weekend. Her mother wanted me to come out there and pick her up and watch her from Sunday to Monday and bring her back Monday night.
Why don't you tell me a little bit what happened and tell the truth. What exactly happened between you and these 2 girls?
Well, Paige came into my room the night that she lost her virginity, okay? And she came in my room and I'm laying on my bed watching television, drinking a beer, and she climbs up on me like a puppy and puts her tail right in my face, and she tells me to kiss her. And so I kissed her, and she said, "Stick your tongue out, Paw Daddy." So I stuck my tongue out, and she said, "Make it hard, Paw Daddy, make it stiff." And when I did, she pushed herself so hard on me, on my face, and she took her virginity on my tongue. And I said, "Paige," I said, "why'd you do that?" She got up, she just went back in her room. And the next day, which was a Sunday, we went out there to the country and picked up Taylor, her friend. And the next morning, Monday morning, I got up. I mean, it did nothing happen, but I got up next morning and Paige was in the bathroom and she started hollering for my name. And so when I got up, she said, "Go in there and wake up Taylor." So I went in there and I laid down beside Taylor. They had a little 4-inch mattress on the floor. She didn't have a bedstead. And so I laid down beside Taylor. I started brushing her hair out of her eyes. I said, "Taylor, honey, wake up." And she opened her eyes, and when she looked at me, she was in total shock. And I said, "Taylor," I said, "it's me, Paw Daddy." And she didn't say anything. She was still in shock. And so I got up and I backed out of the room. Now, grant you, I was naked, okay, because I always sleep naked in my bed. And I backed out of the room, and to make a long story short, took her home, and she told her daddy that I slept with her and tried to rape her, which is not true.
You walked into a young girl's room naked is what you're trying to tell me. You didn't think nothing was wrong with walking into that little girl's room naked?
Well, sir, I had no conscience about sin, none. And that's just how I was. I mean, I was living a life as a single man.
Did you ever give those girls something to drink?
Yes, sir. I had the little bottle of I forget what they call them, Breeze or something like that. And I asked if they wanted one. They said yes. So I opened up for them and gave it to them. And they took one sip and that was it. They didn't drink anything out of that bottle other than a sip.
So if they say one of the little girls said they drank 4 or 5 and even got sick, that's not true? Is it true that one time you walked in the bedroom naked and had lotion on your hand and masturbated in front of the girl?
Yes, sir.
That's the truth.
They told me they wanted to see that white stuff.
How old were these victims?
I think 10.
And they were that educated that they wanted to see that white stuff.
Yeah. I don't know where they got their education.
Did you watch dirty movies with them?
No, sir.
So they're lying if they said y'all laid on the couch and watched dirty movies.
Yes, sir. I never laid around with those two to watch anything. Okay, I had my VCR in my bedroom, and they both went in my bedroom and locked my door. Okay, and next thing I know, I heard the VCR going, and I somehow unlocked the door. It had a little screen latch door on it, and I got in there. I said, "What are y'all doing?" And they started giggling and laughing, and I turned that VCR off and made them get out of the room.
What else happened? Were there any other acts of sexual arousement that you did with these little girls?
Not that I can think of. Well, I've just told you right here.
Do you think you victimized these 2 little girls?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very, very remorseful for all the actions, the evil actions I took around these children. Okay. And I promise that will never happen again.
Did you write a letter to the aunt admitting the charges?
I wrote a letter to Samantha. That's not her aunt.
Who is Samantha?
Samantha is Paige's mother.
You have a low risk. You completed sex offender treatment. What did you learn from your sex offender treatment?
Well, I learned that every immoral action of sex is wrong. If I may add, this is the name of the ministry God gave me. It's Bless the Lord Jesus Ministry. Amen.
Mr. Cook, I totally don't believe you've been honest with me whatsoever today. There's a lot more stuff going on, and these little girls 10 years old, and they can't make up all of this stuff. And I just wasn't going to get into it with you because you were so determined not to tell us everything that happened with these 2 children. So my vote is to deny.
Mr. Cook, you may have completed sex offender treatment, right? It has had no impact on you whatsoever. For you to say that 10-year-old children came on to you sexually and forced themselves on you sexually shows me that you've got a serious psychological problem.
You have a low risk. You have a low risk. You have a low risk.
You've got a serious psychological problem, and it hasn't been addressed. I just cannot in good conscience vote to release. So my vote today is to deny.
Mr. Cook, you have 2 votes to deny. I agree with my colleagues. My vote likewise is to deny. Good luck to you, sir.
And you are still in denial. You are still in denial. You're not taking responsibility for what you did to your daughter. When he asked you how old your daughter was, you said 5. She was 3 when you started the abuse. When he asked you how long, 2 or 3 months, you abused your daughter 3 or 4 times a week for an entire year. I'm reading from the indictment. The offenses happened between October 1st, 1998 and September 1st, 1999, an entire year. And she was at the age of 3 or 4. When are you going to take full responsibility for what you did? A father is booked with a responsibility. He is given the responsibility of taking care and protecting his children. You gave an excuse your relationship with your wife was not going the way you wanted to go. So you had a relationship with your daughter. No child should be burdened with the responsibility to satisfy their father's sexual needs.
You know, when we have these hearings, we're looking at a lot of factors. And one of the main things that we're looking at is not necessarily what the person did, but how has the person dealt with what they've done? Who are they today? You know, you say you accept responsibility and you say, hey, look, I'm in jail. But, you know, I don't think you've accepted responsibility personally and morally for what you've done. One of the things I was really concerned about is how you felt about what you had done. And that's why I opened my questions with, what have you been thinking all of this time? What's been going on with you? I had hoped and expected you to say, my God, what a horrible thing I did to my daughter. But I didn't hear that. You didn't break her car fob so she couldn't drive away or get away?
No, sir.
Why would she say that?
I have no idea, and that hurts me every day. I don't know.
Tell me about your relations with her. Did you have sexual relations with her?
No, sir. Not really. No. It
What do you
was
mean, not really.
It was
You-
talked
You
about.
know,
It was
I'm
talked.
sorry?
It was talked about. She confronted me with it. She confronted me with it.
Oh, well, you know, I can confront you with robbing my co-partner up here,
Yes.
but that's a lie.
Yes, sir.
My question to you is, did you have sexual relations or some sort of molestation with this young woman?
No, sir. She
Why did you plead guilty to carnal knowledge of a juvenile?
because I sold everything. I ran out of money for a lawyer. I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't have no more money. I mean,
Well, let's go back to your original answer a second ago, because I think you were getting ready to say, we talked about it.
yeah.
What do you mean talked about it? And you talked about her having sex with her?
No, she confronted me with it.
What did she confront you with?
And she said she wanted to be with me, and she didn't want to be with no one else. And I told her, I said, you need to be with your daddy's, maybe your baby's daddy, and that's who you need to be with. And matter of fact, that night my wife was right there when I told her. I said, that will never happen.
You plead guilty to carnal knowledge of a juvenile. You're going to have to register as a sex offender. You're probably not going to be able to get a job. There are places that you're not going to be able to live. Why would you plead to that charge if this young woman is a loose cannon and mama doesn't believe her, nobody believes her? Why would you plead guilty instead of going to trial?
I don't know. I felt that I didn't have any other option. Maybe I might have made a bad decision on that, but I felt that I didn't have any other option. I ran out of money. I sold everything I had, sold everything I worked for the last 20-something years. We lost our home. We were able to sell the home, and thank God it wasn't foreclosed. But I really didn't know what else to do. I've never been in trouble. Never had, you know. I just really didn't know what to do.
Have you ever been physical with her? Have you ever abused her, bruised her in any way?
No, sir. No, sir.
Not tell the police when you were interviewed that you grabbed her once and she bruises very easily? You didn't say that to the police?
No, sir.
In your tape statement, you didn't say that?
I told them, I said, I grabbed her by the hand and I said, come sit down by the table and let's talk. And that's what we did. My wife was right there next to me.
Did she have bruises on her?
No, sir, not that I've seen.
Why would you tell the police that you grabbed her once and she bruises very easily? Why would you say that to the police?
Because the police told me that she had a bunch of bruises and that they said that we know you did that. And I told them, I said, she has a condition where she bruises very easy. When she was holding her little baby, the baby was jumping up and down on her lap. You know how a baby does. And it bruised all her legs. And my wife can verify that. She had just come out of the hospital for some similar reasons, and which she would call and me and her mom, and please come to the hospital. I need y'all. And we was always there for her. I mean, that's why this has hurt me so bad. I mean, I've never been in trouble or anything like this before. I didn't know what to do.
Now, you were arrested when?
I was never arrested. They never came and arrested me. They called me in.
Turned yourself in.
That was.
You got a lawyer. Mr. Higgins was your lawyer.
Yes,
Higgins talked to the police. They were trying to work out something.
yes,
He
sir.
was doing some investigation. And then finally, in September of 2020, you got arrested by turning yourself in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
And that's ultimately when you decided to plead guilty to carnal knowledge of the duty.
That's whenever I had nothing left. I had no more money. And Mr. Higgins wouldn't return my phone call. I have a text message where we were texting him and he would not return my wife's call. I was trying to work and he wouldn't return my calls. And the time was getting closer for that trial or that pre-trial. And then we didn't know what to do. My wife went, she got Miss Sanders, and we told Miss Sanders, we don't know what to do. Miss Sanders called Mr. Higgins, and we was in her office, and Mr. Higgins said, "Oh, well, they never called me." And I showed Miss Sanders all the text messages where I've been trying to text him. My wife was trying to text him. My wife had been calling him, and he wouldn't return our phone calls.
Well, you could have gotten a public defender if you couldn't afford a lawyer.
I know,
I'm
but
sure the judge told you.
yes,
So
sir.
you pled guilty without a lawyer? You went in by yourself and pled guilty?
Yeah, because Mr. Higgins walked out on me. I didn't know what else to do.
You were not represented by a lawyer at your guilty plea?
The judge was not there. Mr. Higgins was not there.
Who was not there?
The judge was not there. Mr. Higgins was not there.
Mr. Chariot,
Yes.
in order to plead guilty, there has to be a judge.
No, sir.
Judge.
He was not there. He was not there. My wife and my son had just went in before me, and they said the same thing. Where is the judge at? The judge was not present. There wasn't even a speaker. Tried to look around. So I'm like, really? This is just the DA and.
Mr. Chariot. Mr. Chariot.
Yes, sir.
I am looking at the minutes. The accused being present in court, accompanied by his retained counsel, Tiffany Sanders. Who is Tiffany Sanders?
Tiffany Sanders. That was the day that I had accepted the plea.
That's what I'm asking you.
Okay.
You pled guilty in front of a judge with a public defender.
Yes, sir.
So don't tell me you didn't have a lawyer and blame this all on Mr. Higgins.
Oh, no.
Lawyer.
No, this was, I'm talking about before that. Before that. It was before that. I didn't have.
You didn't get that lawyer that morning.
I didn't.
I was a judge for 14 years. Don't tell me there was no judge when you pled guilty. You had a public defender as a lawyer.
Oh, yeah. When I pled guilty, yes, sir, he was there.
But you had a public defender before that day. That judge didn't give you a public defender that morning and said you got to plead guilty.
No, sir.
How long did you have that public defender?
Miss Tiffany, I want to say about 2 months.
Why did you tell me a minute ago you didn't have no lawyer? You couldn't afford it.
This was before that. I'm talking about the.
You know what I was talking about. Don't give me that. I don't think you're being very honest with me, Mr. Charrier.
I am.
It makes me question a lot of things that you're saying.
No, sir. I don't know the proper terminology for the different hearings, and it was a
I hear all of that, but
Yeah.
you know when you went to court and pled guilty, and that's what I asked you.
Yes,
When
sir.
you went to court and pled guilty, I said, did you do it alone? You said, yes. Mr. Higgins left me there. There was no judge there. There was no lawyer there. I just pled guilty that day. Well, that's BS, and I know it.
Yeah, no, this was the day that I didn't have Mr. Higgins was at the pretrial. That's
And
what.
that's when you got a public defender.
Yes, that I didn't have one.
The judge gave you a couple of months to get your business straight.
Yes, sir, that's right. That's right. I don't know all the terminologies. I'm sorry.
And when you pled guilty, the judge read into the records what you were accused of having done, right?
Yes, sir.
And you said, yes, Your Honor, I'm guilty.
Yes, sir.
And you were under oath,
Yes, sir.
but that was a lie.
Yes, sir.
You're in Evolves Detention Center. How long have you been there? Have you been there the whole time?
Yes, sir.
Have you taken any programs at all while you've been there?
I tried, and they told me that because I had 2 years or less, that I didn't qualify for it. That's what they told me.
That you were required to take sex offender treatment?
No, sir.
Have you taken any sex offender treatment at all?
They said I have no. Miss Mahmood with the DOC said that because I have 2 years or less that I can't take any classes.
So you haven't taken any programs while you've been there?
No, sir. I've maintained a job in here as a trustee the whole time, but I've why?
So you haven't taken any programs while you've been there?
No, sir. I've maintained a job in here as a trustee the whole time.
Are you aware of the requirements that you will have to meet where you live and in those things as a sex offender?
Yes, sir. I am.
You realize at the time that you pled guilty, you would have to register as a sex offender?
Yes, sir. I figured. Yeah.
You were told all of those things, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
And yet you're telling me you didn't do any of these things, but you pled guilty to go to prison for 2 years, register as a sex offender for the next 50 years.
Yes, sir. I felt I didn't have no other choice. If there was any bad choices I ever made, it would be this one.
Sounds like you made some other bad choices, I believe. I don't think that you were very honest with me today. It's got nothing to do with your intelligence. I think you're a very intelligent man. I think you may not be the most eloquent person, but you speak very well.
Yes, sir.
I think there were a number of things that you just lied to me. Blamed it on your lawyer. You said, oh, I pled guilty to something I didn't do. Well, that's very serious. You pled guilty. You know, reviewing all of the records and reviewing everything that I've seen, and it's unfortunate that you're in Walls Parish where they won't let you take any courses, but you haven't taken any.
Yeah.
You've got a full-term date of January the 2nd of 2024.
Yes.
Once you get out, you'll have to register for the next 15 years as a sex offender.
Yes, sir.
You know, sex offenders are a different animal. Most sex offenders have a good job. They're good earners. They do well in prison. They don't get in any kind of trouble. But you pled guilty to a very serious sex offense.
I know.
And my vote today is to deny your parole.
The victim sent a statement in, and she said she was between the ages of 14 and 16.
Yes.
So how does a 60-year-old man have a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old that's in the family?
Yes.
I just want to understand that. And you admitted to your fiance that you did it. So tell us why and how this happened.
Okay. We had 3 families that would come to a lake house on weekends and holidays. And this happened during one of those times. in my bedroom in the middle of the night.
And don't forget, it happened in the camper also.
Sir, I didn't understand that.
Don't forget, one of the occasions you took us to a abandoned camper on the property, and it happened not only in your bedroom, but it happened in that camper.
Well, I was convicted of one count of it. I figured it. Yeah, okay.
You convicted, but I can address the whole issue.
Okay. You're correct.
You pleaded, but I know exactly what you did and how many times you did it. Okay?
Okay.
So tell me, how could this happen?
I think she was attracted to me, and she came to me, and I should have been the adult in the room and said no, but I did not. And for that, I am 100% responsible for my actions.
So you're going to shift the blame to the victim. Okay, Mr. Kelly, based on adamant opposition from the DA's office, that office submitted a very strong letter of opposition saying that you got a break at sentencing and was allowed to plead and only got 4 years. Opposition from the law enforcement, but primarily the victim of this crime is vehemently opposed. The family of the victim is adamantly opposed. In the proximity of your full term date in 2024, I am going to deny your request.
Mrs. Wild.
Mr. Kelly, I've listened and I heard, and to the families, I heard you. My vote is the same for the same reasons, to deny.
Mr. Kelly, I'm really quite alarmed that you have shifted the blame. My vote today is to deny. I think you got a very lenient sentence, and I think you need to serve it. So today, sorry, your parole been denied.
So remember this gift I give to you, that if anyone ever says to you that you should have mercy and forgiveness upon a sex offender, I want you to share this video, give them this present, and tell them that forgiveness, wow, that's God's job.